Greetings, everybody. My name is warboss5. Thank you for joining me today for the first attempt I'm making at a React video. Actually, I'm lying. This is the second attempt. The first attempt didn't record for some godforsaken reason. So if you see me glancing over to my right, I'm checking to make sure the recording's still running. Anyway, I'm here today, and I don't usually do these kind of videos just because it's not really my style, but this video just stood out to me to such a degree that I felt it needed to be addressed because it is just horrible. Everything about this is absolutely horrible, and I just felt like it could not go uncommented on. So, without further ado, let's watch some cop bullshit.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Parent Aware, where we provide parents with information they can use to keep their kids safe. I'm Sergeant Brian Gunsley with the Orange County Sheriff's Department, and today I'm going to show you how to search your child's room. The first step is to remove the child, or the teenager in this case, from the room. You don't want them in the room because their protests may distract you from doing a thorough search. Hey pal, gonna need you to leave the room. Thanks, we'll talk later.
Okay. Welcome to my fucking nightmare. So, what we have here is a video being put out by the Orange County Sheriff's Department, an official video, mind you, about, called Parent Aware. Looks like they're planning to make this a series, episode 1, Searching Your Child's Room. And already we've got red flags all over the fucking place. So, we've got a cop dad walking into his teenage sons, it's another fucking cop in what he thinks teenagers wear, walking into his son's room with the intent on searching it, top to bottom, for who fucking knows. But I want to start off with a little bit of acting that the teenager cop did, I think without thinking about it, and that reveals a lot. The teenager is sitting on his bed, reading, going through his phone. He is paying no attention to his father, who has just walked into his room in full uniform, and when told to leave, he doesn't say a word, doesn't look at his father, and just leaves the room. This is a kid who has been conditioned to accept invasions of privacy like this. This is a kid whose relationship with his father will never be salvaged because the father is a fucking cop and a fucking douchebag. Google 40% of cops, and you'll find that 40% of cops 40% of cops admit to domestically abusing their family, whether it be abusing their wife or abusing their kids. This is no exception. This is another cop on a fucking power trip that he is taking home and using to abuse his kid. And we'll talk more about what he finds, because of course he finds shit. They're not going to do this and then have him find nothing. That's kind of stupid. But we will talk more as the video goes on. But this, first off, if your takeaway from this is I should do this with my kid, congratulations. If you haven't already destroyed your relationship with your child, you're about to.
It's important to search your child's room every once in a while, like I would say about every 6 months. Unless you suspect that they're using drugs or alcohol, then you're going to want to do it more often.
Don't search your child's room, essentially ever. You should only ever search your child's room in an emergency, when you feel that there is something that cannot wait and cannot be talked about that is hidden in your child's room. Maybe, a time bomb that is actively ticking down to 0 that will destroy the entire house if it goes off, and you, as the local bomb defusal expert, are the only one that can defuse it. Under just about any other circumstance like that, you should never search your child's room. A child's room is sacrosanct. A child's room is their personal bubble of safety. It is where they can be them without judgment from either family or the hellscape that is high school and junior high. I can't tell, I can only speak for myself, but I know had I not had my room as like a personal sanctuary, I'd have gone completely insane as a child. I'd have lost my fucking mind. And the idea that this guy is telling you to not only to search your child's room, But to search your child's room on a regular basis every 6 months or more often is, again, just a clear sign of the kind of abusive father-son relationships that being a cop creates. Well, parent-child relationships, really. Cops can be women, and they're just as much bastards as male cops are. ACAB.
The way I would search this room is to split it into sections. So this would be my first section to do, and then another section would be maybe this area right here, and then the closet, and then this bed, and then probably anything that's on the floor. So
he talks about sections, but he never brings it up again. Also, I'm just realizing this now. Look at that split in the wall. I'm realizing that this is not... Originally, when I watched this video, I assumed it was, like a room, like an actual cop child's room, or just like a hotel room they rented, or like, honestly, given the decor, a fucking model home. I think they built this from scratch. I think this is literally just a square built in like a hangar or a depot somewhere where they're filming, because it's the unreality of the room, and we'll get more to the furniture later and just how unreal this room is. It really, as a film watcher, it just pulls me out of the experience to see how clearly fake the room is.
What I recommend is to start searching from top to bottom and then left to right. So here I would start just searching in this.
He already fails. He failed to check behind the mirror.
And then we'll search into whatever containers that are here. I always want to look inside the containers and inspect things thoroughly. See, here we have a container with, looks like a place for some...
Sir, that is an Ona hole. You don't want to put your hands on that because your son has already put something else inside.
Want to hide something, so I'm going to hang on to that. Certainly want to talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, I'll bet.
And then just kind of look through everything.
Okay, I wanted to check this. This is Jan Burke Flight.
Comes to books, you just want to search through all the pages.
Every teenager loves Jan Burke's Flight.
Here we have a picture, it looks like, of a child with a gun to their head.
This is a child with no sense of privacy. This is a child with a damaged relationship with their parents. Of course they feel suicidal, you fuckwit.
This may indicate...
Also, if I'm feeling suicidal, and believe me, I did back in junior high, nothing made me happier than writing down and drawing a detailed drawing of myself with a gun against my head, dead, despite the fact that I've not pulled the trigger yet, and then using it as a bookmark in my favorite book.
That they're thinking about committing
suicide. That fucker lost his kid's place.
That
Seriously,
with our child.
As an avid book reader, I can tell you nothing would piss me. What would piss me off more than anything else, him losing my place in the book. I'd have to go find that shit again, and that would just be a terrible annoyance.
So here we have something. This looks like a scale of some sort.
What the fuck?
So that could be used
they put a scale
by someone who's maybe purchasing drugs or selling.
Wait a minute. That's Crash Team Racing, motherfucker. I own that fucking game. I still have it, like, piled up somewhere where I've got my old PS2 games.
So that's disguised.
Oh my god, that's awesome. It was a terrible game. It tried to be Mario Kart and wasn't. What are you going to do?
Looks like a container of some sort. Let me see what's inside. We have hidden in here. We have some, looks like marijuana.
That, sir, is oregano.
So I am going to hang on to this. We're going to have a little talk about that. This is a concern because some teens use this to get high. They can use this as a huffing device.
I'm sorry, you can use dust off to get high? Fuck, man, I'm a fucking drug dealer then. I got tons of cans of that shit. Mostly because you have to use 2 or 3 cans in a cycle in order to dust your computer with any speed. Because they freeze up and won't blow anymore. But, kind of a dead giveaway here, Cop Dad. He has computer dusting equipment and doesn't own a computer. There is no desk in this room. There is no computer in this room. There's no indication that a laptop has ever been used either.
So, if you have dust off or any type of computer duster in the room, we want to remove that because that could be used as something dangerous and that could be deadly.
Deadly like fentanyl exposure, right, Cop? Yeah, enjoy your panic attack.
And also, it's very important to be respectful of the child's property.
Yes, respectful of the property, but not the privacy or the child themselves. After all, in the capitalist hellscape we all live in, everyone knows that cops only care about property. Also, why would I bother folding my clothes? Because my parents were always on, you should fold your clothes and put them when you put them away. Yeah, but if my fucking cop dad is gonna dig through my clothes and unfold them all because he's searching for drugs, why the fuck would I bother?
When you're doing this.
Also,
because,
be real careful with those socks, cop dad.
It's just the appropriate thing to do. Here we have a vaping device.
See, now that is how a
we're gonna
teenager
hang
hides
on to
shit.
that.
It's just in the drawer, because that's just where he keeps it.
Here we have some more clothing. Looks like everything's okay there.
Yeah, just keep unfolding that shit.
I have a pipe
Ooh.
hidden inside some socks.
Oh, that's actually a really pretty pipe. That's quite nice.
We'll go through here.
Okay, right there. That's the most unbelievable thing in this whole fucking video is
And
empty
then, if you notice anything that's
empty
unusual
drawers
in the room,
a
like
teenager's room.
this is toilet paper, that's kind of unusual. No,
Oh, officer. Officer. A roll of toilet paper in a teenage boy's room is not unusual at all. A roll of toilet paper is not unusual. A box of tissues that runs out with alarming frequency is not unusual. A sock that is stiff as a board and crusty is also not unusual. You really know, were you even a child once, or did you just spring bodily from the corpse of someone who died to a hate crime, as I assume all cops are born?
Nothing, I don't see anything with that. Ajax, I don't know why this would be in his room, so I would inspect that a little better. In fact, here we have another container.
Okay, these are getting crazy.
Does
Does anyone actually own these?
Certainly
Isn't
want to
like a
collect all these
full-fledged
items.
20-something drug dealer?
They shouldn't have them in their room.
Because this kid's got like half a dozen of these secret containers. It's kind of insane. I didn't even know those things existed outside of the Jurassic Park movie.
And here I have a couple of little baggies. It looks like they may have had some drugs in them or something at some point.
Oh, yes.
So
Best place to dispose of your used up weed baggies is under the cushion of the chair that is inexplicably in your room. Who has a chair like that in their room in their teens? Matter of fact, everything in the decor of this room does not feel right for a fucking teenager. Also, how few clothes have you given this kid? Jesus, that was maybe 7 shirts.
So this looks like it might be
cool
something.
croc skull. I like that.
I'm familiar with this as a container. So this is something that people can buy online.
We can?
These hidden compartments.
That's actually really cool.
As you can see, it has liquid above and below. But the container, it's a false, container in the middle.
I'm not gonna lie. I actually really like this one. That is a delightfully cool little secret hidey hole. I totally dig it. Although in my high school bedroom, it would have been a dead giveaway. I did not leave bottles of Mountain Dew unfinished. I lived off bottles of Mountain Dew in my teenage years.
That people can hide things in there. We'll hang on to that. Journals are good to go through.
Journals are not good to go through. This is literally your child's last refuge. You've already made it clear to him that physical space is not somewhere where he will be able to find sanctuary. His journal is likely the last place, the last refuge for his innermost thoughts, aside from actually being within his own head. He may be doing the hard work of fixing his own mind in that journal and trying to escape the cycle of abuse that you are perpetrating. But now you're going to go reading through it. You're going to learn all of that. You're going to read horrible shit about you, Officer Dad. He is not going to be kind because this was supposed to be something you were never supposed to read. And being a cop and having no control over your own emotions, you're probably going to care more about the horrible shit he says in the journal than the baggie of oregano he's holding for a friend. And this journal is going to get the kid beat. No question. He's going to get the shit slapped out of him because Cop Dad's not going to be able to handle the cruel things said about him in that journal. I guarantee you.
As a parent, you have every right to search your child's room. There is no legal problem with that. So be sure to take advantage of that and search your child's room while they're under the age of 18.
And there it is. That is Cop Dad giving the whole game away. Because it is not, to cops, it's not about the reasons for the law. It's not about protecting. It's not about serving the community. It's not about helping people live better lives in safety. It's about enforcing exactly the letter of the law. If they find a loophole, they will fucking use that loophole. And they will encourage every other abusive parent in their area to do the same. And cops would destroy society if they could. I don't think a lot of them realize the damage they're doing. They're just probably the result of abuse in their own right, probably abused by their own parents. And now they're just passing that abuse on, except they're also passing it on to the community at large. And they are going to, cops like this attitude will destroy civilization. These abusive, authoritarian fuckwit cunts. And they're just passing their toxins onto everyone they can get in touch with. And now, the OC Sheriff's Department, incidentally, not OC necessarily, but by all means, Google LASD gangs. You will find delightful, delightful information. They are passing this toxicity on and passing it out and disseminating it around their community to create essentially an authoritarian mindset where everyone is a threat at all times. It is horrific that this is being put out there, and so that it can pollute everyone who sees it, who is not smart enough to see it for the abuse it is.
Here, we just want to take a look through the journal and just see if there's anything suspicious. And here's a page where it looks like they're drawing pictures of marijuana references on.
Okay, I'm more convinced than ever that is not your kid's weed. That is, first off, it's oregano. Secondly, that is oregano that he's holding for a dumb friend who bought it thinking it was weed, but wanted your kid to hold it because the friend's parents were searching his room that week. Incidentally, I guarantee to you, if this kind of behavior becomes normal among parents in an area, the kids will find a way to sync up the search to work around the searches. They'll basically take all the contraband they have, put it in one box, and pass it between members of a friend group, so that they're constantly dodging each individual member's parents' room searches. You won't find shit if kids want to hide it. Kids have nothing but time to think about this. They will find a way to hide what they don't want you to find. Anyway, getting back to the journal, no one who actually smokes weed is drawing like this. No one is going to do a page of doodles about the 420 and the weed and the giant smiling lips and this fucking mushroom. I mean, fun, neat. I've always wanted to try mushrooms myself, but doesn't seem to fit with the rest of the aesthetic of the page. But yeah, no, this kid doesn't smoke weed. This kid wants to smoke weed. He wants to be cool enough to smoke weed, but he is terrified of what might happen if he does.
Here. And then usually just go through the bed. You can remove the sheets and all the bedding and just take a look at the...
Oh yeah, throw quilt or throw sheet on top of a was it duvet, I think those are called, or a quilt on top of a uncovered mattress and box spring. Yeah, this is they threw this shit together as like a stage.
Mattress, make sure the mattress doesn't have any openings in it where someone could put or hide something in here. Oh, here's some more little bottles.
Continuity error.
And that may...
Yep. The entire video up till this point has been a single shot, but you got to get that close up so they can parents can really panic over the anxiety medication that the student or the kid has borrowed from a friend of his, because he is constantly having panic attacks about his room being searched while he's at school. So he's having to self-medicate as best he can with weed and whatever that is. But yeah, got to get that close up because there's no way I'd be able to recognize a pill bottle from 2 feet further away.
match up with the pills that we found here. So that's good to have. We'll need to
That is not good to
find out
have.
more about that. And then you want to search underneath, and we have Budweiser found underneath here.
Oh, isn't that a shame? Kid's got terrible taste in beer. Probably got it from his dad. Anyway, but no, the Budweiser actually is probably the stupidest thing in this entire room because, yeah, the kid's got half a dozen secret hidey holes built into fucking shaving cream bottles and whatnot. Mountain Dew, a fake Mountain Dew bottle on his nightstand. But yeah, he's just gonna leave a bottle of Bud underneath his fucking bed where anyone can see it with half a glance. Yeah, absolutely. Great character building there, Spielberg.
Okay. So,
also, I just want to point this out real quick. This room does not scream teenage pothead to me. This room screams, medium to nice hotel I'm staying in because it was cheaper than going to the fancy place, but close enough that I could still walk to my eventual destination. No stoner's going to have 4 fucking nice pillows and a throw on top of their bed. You'd be lucky if that bed was fucking made. Everything, nothing about this room says teenager. It's so painfully obvious. Also, fun thing here, the entire wall over here is covered by this weird, wall covering curtain. I don't know why, but it bothers me that the other 3 walls were walls and clearly built, but this one is just a giant fucking curtain. Why? Why is it a giant fucking curtain? You'll see more in a second here, but
the
look at
last
that. There's a wall
that
underneath it.
Is now everything that's on the floor. So we have here some
this
clothing
giant
that's on the
curtain.
ground.
Why the fuck is
we'll
that
just
curtain?
go through some clothing.
Couldn't you just
Of course,
leave
the
a blank
pockets
wall?
Always is where you're going to find stuff. So these are indicators.
I love this. He searches the pants pockets, pulls out 3 things,
they
but
may
does not
be
tell us
using
what any of
drugs.
them are because they're innocent. And
then, of course, the backpack. Now, the best time to probably do a search is when your child is at school.
The only way to make an invasion of your children's privacy worse is to make it secret so that they have to be suspicious. Because they only need to find out that you searched their room while they were gone once for them to realize that they will never, ever, ever be safe and take that existing abusive anxiety and ratchet that shit up to 11.
Do the search of the room, and then when they come home, finish that search up by checking the backpack.
Hi, Billy. Welcome home from school. Hope you had a good day. We tossed your entire room, and I'm going to need you to hand over your backpack now. Just... Do you want to alienate your kid? Do you want your kid never to speak to you after they move out? Because this shit, that's how you accomplish that.
And can also have them remove, especially if you found all this, you're going to want to have them remove anything that's in their pockets, and you want to check the backpack.
All right, Billy, I found some weed in a baggie in your room. And you know what that means. Full body cavity search!
And so in here, we're finding a few more items. This is a vape device.
Is it?
Let's see.
This looks like a necklace.
This is a highlighter, which appears to be a highlighter, but this is something that can be purchased online. And what it is a pipe.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And it just
I love how it color coordinates.
The highlighter.
Dig it. Although I feel like they could have made the end of that pipe look more like the bottom of a highlighter.
So when you're searching, you want to definitely go through everything very carefully. And
I love the football on the bed. No, this kid's a good
things
football-playing American
in
child.
case, your child has
That
something like this hidden in there. You're going to want to find it. It's very important to conduct a safety search like this because you want to know whether or not they're using drugs. Best way to prevent adult addiction is to intervene early when they're young.
Best way to prevent adult addiction is to not be raised by a fucking cop who searches your room every month. To have an ounce of privacy and trust in your parents. To have a good reciprocal relationship with your parents so you can talk to them when something bothers you. That is how you raise a stable and well-adjusted adult. This shit raises a criminal or another cop.
So this is the time to prevent a lifelong struggle with addiction. Thanks for watching Parent Aware.
Okay. I feel it should be fairly obvious at this point that this is everything you should not do as a parent. You will destroy your relationship with a child far worse than any incidental drug use might. You will you will destroy your child doing this. This is abusive. This is horrible. And this is 100% the kind of shit that fucking cops come up with. Because to them, it's about power and it's about control. That's all it ever is. ACA fucking B.